Let me ask for your imagination to see things, to think, to analyze. I've covered this electronically by analysis, but the reality is that few people imagine the eye's behavior to be what it actually is. And I don't blame medical people for not understanding it because they never study it. They can't use it in their office. And indeed, prevention that I argue for must start no later than about minus half diopter. That being said, let me ask you to imagine that this is the accommodation system at birth, and that is the length of the eye at birth, or refractive power. So let's set this up. So there is the accommodation system, and there is the eye's length. Now, the eye's length is about 4 diopters, plus 4 diopters. It is not defective, it just has a refractive state. So now, when I change the accommodation, the eye changes the refractive state accordingly. This motion, the accommodation system, is a matter of about a half a second, looking from here to far. Now, it would be nice if refraction changed that way, but it does not. Here, the difference is about 1/10 of a second. This is the eye's total refractive power. As long as the refraction is positive, you have 20/20. Let's say vertical. So that'd be 20/20. Now, if you keep your accommodation going negative, refraction becomes negative, and you can't see the 20/50 line or 20/60 line. Okay, now, so accommodation is a control system itself, proven beyond any reasonable doubt. Operative as soon as you see things, open your eyes, and you have clear focus. Clear focus is produced by the accommodation system. And at the retina, it would be clear also because the accommodation system takes care of it. There's no failure, there's no medical failure, there's no problem. Now, the difficult part. Okay, so there's the eye at birth. Accommodation at birth will go to 0 or some negative value. Okay, so the eye's power doesn't come to 0, though it comes to about plus 1 diopter. So you have sharp vision and a positive refractive state, the best of all possible worlds. Now, the next difficult part is this relation to that refractive power is 100 days. So I may do this, but it takes 100 days for that to reach what the accommodation system demanded. And that's the entire eye as a control system. There's no failure here. It is all engineering, all science. Difficult to understand, I know, because we don't want to understand it. We want to think that all eyes are box cameras, and this action never happens. It's tragic that the misconception is so deeply set in our minds, in our thinking. The reality is this relationship of accommodation signal to that refractive state is about 0.97, the correlation coefficient. But you cannot think box camera to understand it correctly. So I hope you have enjoyed this presentation. It still makes prevention difficult, but it does say if we keep our accommodation system positive, then this refraction will always be positive and we'll keep 20/20 for life. But it does mean that is the issue, and we control that accommodation signal. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'm not an enemy of any optometrist. They just don't understand this specific issue as science and engineering. Hope you enjoyed this.